Okay, business context and performance marketing. Why is it so important? That's what we're talking about in this episode, Abby. Now, I believe that if you're running performance marketing, you don't understand the basics of business and how a business operates, you're at a major disadvantage.
100%.
Because how can you possibly make informed decisions if you don't know what the nuts and bolts of the end thing are?
Yeah.
And I think it's worth pointing out that we're not talking about like major things here. Like we're not talking about kind of MBA level.
No.
Like business kind of management here. Like we're really talking about basic stuff like finance, like basic finances, margin, just even understanding what margin is. And I know it sounds really obvious, but not everyone does.
Yeah.
Supply and demand, stock and fulfillment, customer journeys, channel mix. There's all these things that sit outside of the platforms that we work in, yet they have a humongous effect on our ability to drive performance. And I think we need to understand those and be involved in conversations.
And when we do understand those, we see better results.
Big time.
As a consequence.
Big time. So it's all part of a thing. So we're reworking our services to kind of fit in with this, right?
Yeah, it's super exciting.
Because it's so important, and you get it right. You can, like you say, the results are amazing, and it's totally win-win, isn't it? So there's kind of big thing that we're working on as a business. What do you think? Because I guess part of the challenge with that is when you're a PPC professional or a paid media professional, or you work in paid social, you might not get into it wanting to learn about business, or it might not be something on your mind. Obviously, you've been working in paid social for 4 years. How have you found conversations around this?
I think it's been super interesting. I think you have to have an open mindset towards it. But I think the more that you know and understand about a business, the better you can do your job as a PPC professional or a paid media, whatever it is, because it means that you have that context to make those bigger decisions on things.
Yeah.
And to help guide the business that you're working with in a better direction. So it's actually, although maybe not strictly a part of the day-to-day as like a paid social exec, it should be. It should be. And it helps you to do your job even better. And it also makes the results even more exciting because you've had even more input and even more kind of understanding of how you got there.
Yep, exactly. And it puts, I think, if you can start to understand it, you can start to understand your clients better, and also their language. And ultimately, the reason you run ads on Facebook, Instagram, Google, whatever platform you run your ads on, the reason you do that is to get a business result. Yeah. Which might be sales, revenue, profit,
leads,
qualified leads, pipeline value, whatever that goal is. The reason it's being invested in is because there's a goal that needs to be hit. Yeah. And things like impressions, click-through rate, stuff like that doesn't matter. It does because it helps you kind of inform the decisions. But at the end of the day, we're not running ads to get an impression or a click.
No. I think the really good example of this is when people run lead gen campaigns and don't check in on the quality of the leads. That's kind of like the best way I can think to... Yeah. The best example is like, if you are not clued in with what the business needs, whether it's your business that, you're working in-house or whether it's agency, if you're not clued in for the fact that if you get 100 leads and 99 of them are shit, that's not a good campaign. Whereas actually, if you're checking in and saying, what's the quality of these leads? If you have a formula to figure out if that's a good quality lead, then you're good.
Then you're doing a better job.
Then you're starting up those conversations and you're,
Leads are a really good example and a good way of explaining it, really, in very tangible terms. Because if you got your Facebook ads meta ads, blinkers on, you're sat there going, I've got 100 leads.
Cost per result is incredible. Loving it. Yeah.
20p a lead.
Yeah.
I'm rocking this. And then, but what you're actually doing is you're, wasting the sales team's time because they've got to open up 100 leads, go through them all, and find out they're all rubbish. So you're not only are you not getting results, you're having a negative impact because you're wasting time.
Yeah.
Now, if you just got your blinkers on, you won't understand that, or then the client becomes frustrated because they're not getting what they actually need.
Yeah.
The paid media person is getting frustrated because they think they're doing an amazing job and they can't, and it just goes wrong.
Yeah. But we've had like both sides of that with the lead side of things. So we've had a client who hired some people in specifically to pick up leads, and they were like, we need more leads. So that was then we understood that the focus was much more on, obviously it was still quality, but on quantity, because they had hired 2 people to come into their sales team.
Got to give them a pipeline.
And you've got to give them something to do, got to give them a pipeline. And then we also had the flip side where there were some issues with hiring somebody for that like sales role. And actually it was much more important that we were getting like 5 really good quality leads coming in, and actually it didn't matter so much the cost per lead as long as the quality was there. So it's like we've had both sides of it as well to understand, that process from each business.
Yeah, but then once you're thinking about that, and a lot of this is just thinking about it and having it front of mind. But once you are, you can then have that conversation.
Yeah.
Right, what's your scenario? What do you need here? Do you need volume? Do you need like less volume, but just like the absolute best quality? Like, what do you actually need as a business? And that will then inform what you do or don't do with your campaigns, and you will get better results at the end.
Yeah.
Much better. Cool. So I've got a list of things here that we can kind of run through. I think for me, these are the key things that it's very helpful to understand. Mm-hmm. So I thought we'd go through them and then talk about some examples.
Yeah.
And real life scenarios as to why they're actually helpful concepts. Margin and finances.
Big one.
Obviously, I was going to say money makes the world go round, but I think friendship and love does.
Family.
But if you're running a business, having money come in does help.
Yeah.
It is useful. So margin is a very useful concept to understand. Mm-hmm. What's gross margin? What's net margin? And how might that impact on what you're doing?
And I think that as paid media professionals, we can get really fixated on ROAS, return on ad spend, which is a super important metric for us to be looking at. But actually, if the margin on that is really shit, then
exactly.
You're getting quite a skewed view there.
Yeah. If you're selling a product that has a retail price of £100, and the cost of that good to the client is £80, and you're therefore making a £20 gross margin.
Oh, but you've also got free shipping in there that you have to factor in.
Yeah, exactly. And you're getting a ROAS of 2.5.
Yeah.
Which in many cases, actually right now, if you can get that, that's potentially scalable on the surface. But in that example, you're then going to a client going, hey, this is brilliant, we're getting a ROAS of 2.5. They're coming back going, well done, you're still losing me money on every sale. Congratulations. So it kind of, knowing that is pretty useful, because then you can have a better conversation with the client. You can prioritize certain products. So if, a ROAS of 2.5, let's call it that, on a product where you're making a 20% gross margin, has a very, very different contribution to the business if you're comparing that against a product of the same value that's making a 60% gross margin.
Massive.
Because then you're actually making some money.
Yeah.
but the ROAS is the same,
Yeah.
obviously, because it's revenue.
We had this with our e-commerce project though, the City Scooter, because we were running dynamic product ads and Meta was pushing our merch. So we had some t-shirts and it was really pushing that. And we didn't make any money off the t-shirts. I mean, in fact, we didn't even really want massively to be selling them. Our focus was obviously the actual scooter.
Yeah.
And so we had to change that up. But if we didn't have that context, we wouldn't have known to do that.
Yeah. So you have to think about these things, don't you? And
yeah.
Then you can start to kind of take products out the feed that have a like a non-viable gross margin level, or set priorities towards products that do.
Yeah.
You know, and it just, again, means you can make informed decisions and have a better conversation with your client, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Second thing on my list is landing page optimization.
Yeah.
You could get the best click in the world from the best campaign in the world, but the landing page doesn't convert that traffic, then you're screwed.
Our job doesn't finish after the click.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely correct. And it's back to this point of, like, if you look at true performance, like genuine performance, most of that stuff happens after the click has occurred.
Yeah.
You know, so yes, making sure you've got great campaigns, great ad creative, and you're getting great traffic to the site is really important.
Yeah.
But if the landing page doesn't convert or convince someone to buy, then nothing's going to happen.
Yeah. Isn't set up in a user-friendly way that is easy to navigate and gives you all the information you need.
Yep. And having a testing plan for that is really key.
Oh, yeah.
And split testing different pages or different titles and different images and different layouts, and like, it has to be an integral part of what you're doing. But so often it sits with another team or another department. Oh no, we've got a department that takes care of all of our landing pages. Our dev agency does the landing pages. Don't worry about it. You're like, no, this has to be like a big part of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're literally leaving money on the table.
Yeah. And I know that people are often kind of loath to put like people in touch with, say, the dev agency or whoever it is, but actually when you can open up those conversations, it is hugely helpful and can be really rewarding in results.
Yeah, and the gains you make there are just incrementally beneficial to your paid media campaigns, because then any other optimizations and improvements you make in your campaigns have a much bigger impact further down the line.
Yeah.
But also all the other traffic that's going through that landing page.
Yeah, so it's not just the paid media that is affected by those changes.
It's really a win-win. Next on my list is checkout/conversion data.
Yeah.
So this is looking at that final step in the funnel before someone makes a purchase or makes an inquiry with you. Why are they falling out at that point? What's happening?
Yeah.
How do you fix it? Because again, if you're fixing, the closer your fixes get to the end conversion, the more you can do at that point, the bigger the impact on everything else. But again, so often it's forgotten about within paid media. It's no, my campaigns are great, and you know,
people are adding to cart.
Hey, well done. You know, it's not my fault, but it's actually the attitude should be, in my mind, let's go and have a look at that and let's see why that might be happening and come up with some theories and test some stuff out.
Is it because you've got a code that's not auto-applying in the checkout? People are getting frustrated with that.
Is your shipping too expensive?
Yeah. Do you not offer payment methods like Klarna?
Yep. Are your returns policies rubbish?
Does your page look a bit sketchy so people don't want to put their details in?
We're riffing here.
But there are so many reasons why that's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly. And if, we did a bit of work for a business recently where this is slightly different to the checkout stuff, really, isn't it? But the returns policy was really poor, and the delivery/lead time was really poor
for a product that needed to be there at a certain time.
Yeah. So not ideal. Whereas the competition returns policy was really good, and the lead time or delivery time was really good,
Yeah.
and the price was the same. So that as a customer, which one are you going to choose?
And it was a high ticket item that people will be shopping around for.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they'll have done their research and
Exactly.
know. Yeah.
So you go, right, well, in that scenario, you could have the best PPC campaign, SEO campaign, best landing page in the entire world. You know, the best of the best, the cream of the crop. But if someone can get the product quicker and return it if they don't like it from somewhere else at the same price,
They will.
They will.
And they do.
But these are things to be aware of and things to check in on when you're running campaigns, because sometimes it's the ads' fault. The ads aren't set up correctly, the audiences aren't set up correctly, and that'll be why things aren't performing. There might be a technical issue in there somewhere. But it might also not be the ads.
Yeah.
Or the landing page.
Yeah.
And I think checkout abandonment is often there could be something going on, but it's that last opportunity for someone to go and have a look somewhere else. I'm just going to go and double check that other website. I wonder
if I could get a 10% code off somewhere else.
Oh, yeah. Particularly
free shipping somewhere else.
Particularly with a bigger ticket item where the last minute nerves are more likely to be higher. So it might not actually be a technical issue with a checkout if you're seeing dropout. It might be a market condition or a competitive thing as well.
Yeah.
But it might be a symptom of something else.
But that's where it's also useful to have things like live chat, where you can quickly talk to people about their problems if they're at that stage.
Yeah.
Hey, just wanted to make sure this was going to arrive by this date. Yeah. Then they feel way more secure. They're going to go through and finish that.
Yeah. Carl, our new best friend from Belgium,
Carl,
at GPEC earlier this week, he gave a really good example of he was running like 1-question surveys on the checkout to try and identify why people were falling out and what it was that were putting people off, and that softer customer feedback is really good.
Hugely important.
It's really good. And his big point there was, there's no one size fits all. Like, you could have the best, most optimized checkout process in the world that has an amazing conversion rate for that client, and that other very similar client over here will need something different because there might be something else putting their customers off.
Yeah.
Or, but yeah, that feedback, that's a good point. Feedback is important.
Yeah.
My last point on the list is platform diversification and mix.
Yeah.
Not putting one's eggs in one basket.
No.
And I think particularly now with rapid pace of change on Meta and Google and everything else, you have to be able to, first off, test for new opportunities. Secondly, be able to move your budget around in a very fluid way. So if you have a bad week here, but a great week there, you can adjust and chase the performance. You've been talking about diversification for some time.
I have. I'm very passionate about it.
Why?
Not only for that reason of being able to be like agile with the budgets, but also just that I'm really anti having an over-reliance on one platform, because something can go wrong, that platform can go down, you can lose your account. These things happen and do happen.
Yeah.
So if you are solely relying, say, on Meta, and that goes down, you lose your account, you get hacked, anything, you're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah,
and if you don't already have, say, Google set up and ready to go, and you haven't got those learnings through already, you're going to be starting from scratch and having probably 6 weeks of learning without good results before you can really get going. So super passionate about that, because it just doesn't make sense to only run one platform, and so many people do. Yeah,
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? It's just good common business sense, I think.
Yeah.
And also making sure you don't have and I know saying this as a performance marketing agency sounds mental, but not completely relying on paid media.
No.
because you have to have other stuff in the mix, like a decent organic strategy on search, so that people are going to be able to find you without paying for every single click. And this is when you can start to build a scalable, profitable model. If you're 100% reliant on paid media, it's really difficult. So make sure that you're also investing and planning for SEO, email.
Important.
Why does no one talk about, well, obviously people talk about email, but it doesn't get talked about half as much as PPC.
No.
But drives usually infinitely more conversions at that last point, or has a better conversion rate because you're talking to your database and customers.
And it can have such a polarizing effect on your customer base as well with how you do it.
Yeah.
Like, you can have a really strong strategy and be taking people through a good customer journey, educating them, getting them excited about your brand, building brand loyalty.
Yeah.
Or you can be completely putting people off your brand because you are inundating them with stuff they're not interested in.
I had an experience like this recently where I ordered a plain t-shirt.
I thought you meant plain like plain.
No, not an aeroplane t-shirt. Although I wouldn't mind an aeroplane t-shirt. I ordered a plain, boring t-shirt and or a 3-pack of boring t-shirts, and ordered it. Got the order confirmation email, an order confirmation message on WhatsApp.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Like, leave me alone. That's my private space. And then I'm not actually 100% sure where they dispatched the order from. I should go and have a look. But it took about a week to arrive.
Okay.
Which honestly, I'm fine from that because this was an independent store.
Okay.
So like, fine, whatever. Took about a week to arrive. Before the product arrived, I looked in my inbox. I had 10 emails.
Oh my God.
10 emails. Order confirmation,
That's
fair
too
enough.
much.
I appreciate the order confirmation email. Dispatch email, yep, fair enough. Send me the dispatch email. It's nice to know it's coming. But within that, there were also like, here's some other things you can try. Here's some of our other product range.
You haven't even got the product yet.
If you like this, think about this. We're also doing this over the summer. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Don't want your emails right now. I'd like my t-shirt, thank you very much. And it wound me up. Yeah,
because if you haven't physically got the product in your hands, felt that it's like a nice t-shirt, whatever, you don't care if they have other products.
Yeah. And it has almost left, I don't bear grudges, but it has left me with a slightly bitter feeling about this brand. The t-shirt's nice, but I don't think I'd go back because
you don't want to get
email
hounded.
flow annoyed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference.
But get it right and it works really well, and it mops up so many conversions. And if you're investing loads of money in PPC, SEO, paid social, making loads of effort with your organic social content, whatever it might be, you work so hard to get that traffic on the site and so hard to engage that traffic with your products or service. Email, like the more you get email right, the more of that momentum you mop up and get into that final purchase. So it is, massively important to get right, I think. Anyway, these are all very interesting things, aren't they? Yeah, love it. It's very exciting. And thank you so much for taking the time to chat. No, all good. And thanks for everyone for listening in. Thank you everyone for listening in. I'm really jumping. Can you tell it's Friday? And see everyone next time. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed that episode, please do come and subscribe. Join us for future episodes where we talk about the ins and outs of running paid media and driving improved conversions and revenue for your business. See you next time.